Welcome everybody. We're back we're the Disney boys. We're still watching some of these classic Disney cartoons that have come out. Well, that came out, I guess, back in the 90s. I'm here joined with my broichi boys.
What's up?
Broichen.
Be broichen.
They're broichin'. They're ready. They're itching. Tonight we are watching Gargoyles, which is a favorite of mine. I really enjoyed watching it as a kid. It was at the time I was watching a lot of darker content like Batman the animated series and things like that. So this hit that nerve. Do you guys remember anything about Gargoyles? Could you name them all?
Loved it, dude. There's a lot of there's Bronx, Brooklyn, Goliath, Bronx, Brooklyn, Goliath. God, what's his name? Broadway. Bronx, Brooklyn, Goliath, Broadway. I think that's the main group, and then there's Demona, which was Goliath's lady, and Angela, which was their kid.
Okay.
And then there was Xanatos, the bad guy.
Oh, Xanatos.
I forget the lady cop's name. Maria? Some?
I don't know.
And who's the Keith David is Goliath, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Such a great
Keith
voice.
David's Goliath. And then fucking Patrick Starr. Fucking what's his name? Forget his name, but he is the guy who's the voice of Patrick is the voice of Broadway? No.
I did not know that.
Oh,
Bronx?
he was also in Coach, right? That guy?
Yep. I'm watching that right now.
He always played the dumb guy.
Yep. Here we go. Lexington, that's the one I forgot. Lexington. So, Ed Asner was Hudson, the old guy.
Yep.
The old one. See, Keith David was Goliath. Bill Fagerbach, that's his name, was Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
this is Patrick.
Yeah, our boy Jonathan Frakes was Xanatos.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this
Oh, Eliza's their name. Eliza's the name of the detective.
Made it up.
Anybody else? Oh, Marina Sirtis. She is Demona. And then our boy Frank Welker is the voice of their dog Bronx.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who go through here. Clancy Brown's in it.
Oh wow.
Cam Clark making an appearance. Jim Cummings, Tim Curry, and then like Sheena Easton. And then there's a lot of other Star Trek people in here, obviously with Frakes and Surface, but Michael Dorn's in there.
Do you remember the tallest man you've ever met?
Yeah, Michael Dorn's Coldstone, who's I think he looks like Goliath, but he's like, I don't know, he's like gray with white hair or something like that.
Okay.
Richard Grieco, dude, the Greeks was in it.
Grieco.
Kate Mulgrew, continuing the Star Trek. Same with Nichelle Nichols. Look at CCH Pounder, dude. John Rhys Davies played Macbeth.
Oh, I like this cast. This is like
Finer played Puck.
That guy kind of cast. It's like, oh, it's that guy.
Lots of Star Trek people, and then a bunch of others. Avery Brooks was a guest star. LeVar Burton was a guest star.
There we go.
Alan
We're getting the crew.
was a guest. Fucking. See anybody else that we know? Cole Meany was a guest star.
Cole Meany?
Rob Paulson, Tony Shalhoub, dude.
Okay, we got the leprechauns in here. That's great.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of Star Trek people: Marina Sirtis, Jonathan Frakes, Kate Mulgrew, Michael Dorn, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Cole Meany, Avery Brooks, Michelle Nichols, and then like a bunch of the other people like, you know, John Rhys Davies, Frank Welker, Clancy Brown, a bunch of these other people who did voices in it were like guest stars at some point.
Yeah.
On Star Trek as well. So yeah, a lot of it was unintentional, but like it just became, you know, they were just like, let's just, you know, keep doing it because it's kind of fun. Since we got Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes as regular characters.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, I always remember the Shakespeare connections too.
Yeah,
a lot of that.
Yep. Do you remember when this came out? What year it was?
It aired from 1994 to 1997.
That sounds about right.
First two seasons were part of the Disney Afternoon or whatever. Third season moved to ABC in 96 after Disney bought ABC. And they had their like Saturday morning blocks. There's a noticeable difference between those because like season 2, like they kind of ended it. Pretty much everybody who were like the main contributors left. And like Greg Weisman was left. He's one of the kind of, you know, co-creators of the show. He was still there, but like he like disowns it. He doesn't consider it canon.
Oh, really?
To the point where like when he goes on to do to like finish season 3 or his idea for season 3 and then season 4 he does in like comics, like he writes those and as canon like comics.
Okay.
Like he's doing Gargoyles right now.
I was gonna ask, how is like a Gargoyles comic? Like is this a first run or did they do one back then? Is this like a?
It's been multiples. So there was one in the 90s through Marvel. That was just your standard, like every cartoon had a comic book with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Batman Adventures, fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. A lot of the times they had adventures in the name.
To make it
so like
a little
it was
bit more
that it was
tame.
It was a comic book that was they could either adapt episodes or do some other stories. And then in the early 2000s, that's where he did his. Greg Weisman did his season 3 at Slave Labor Graphics, which is a independent comic publisher. And then starting like a couple years ago, maybe, Greg Weisman came back and is doing essentially season 4 for Dynamite comics right now.
Okay.
Through Disney, obviously, but published through Dynamite. So yeah, he's still cranking shit out. There's multiple books in the line too, but he's one of those dudes. Greg Weisman, we've talked about him before too. He did,
Yep.
You know, like Spectacular Spider-Man and shit like that too.
He launched the Bonkers cartoon block.
Yep.
What was that called? Like Cut or something like that?
No, it was the comic strip.
Yeah, the comic strip. That's right.
But yeah, like I was looking into some of the back stuff. Well, we can get into that later.
Yeah.
Talk about afterwards.
We'll get into that.
We already did the voice actor stuff, which we usually do afterwards. So
yeah,
I'll save some shit. Wilson, did you watch a lot of Gargoyles?
I caught the odd episode every now and then. The thing that really got me with Gargoyles is I rented a VHS where it was like, it came with a board game or something like that.
Cool.
And at a certain point in the tape, it was like one of those magic VHSs where you're supposed to be able to rewind it and then play it again, and it plays like a certain part of the video that you didn't see the first time, but it never worked. So it was just Jonathan Frakes sitting down and being like, "Hi, rewind the tape to this part, and you'll see the magic.
False.
And just so, yeah, exactly.
Not
I
this
kept
time.
rewatching this Jonathan Frakes where he's like, "Hi, welcome to Gargoyles," and
Yeah.
I got like cucked by fucking Jonathan Frakes as a kid. So
So the classic breaks cocking.
I remember the show very distinctly. It was so major in our childhood, but like I didn't have the greatest exposure to it, so I was always just like, yeah, okay, like shaking my head, like, yeah, Gargoyles, I love it, it's cool. I haven't seen that much of it, and then I rent the video, and it just like killed my momentum for watching any more of it.
Yeah.
Not real.
Sorry, we made it up.
We made it up. This one was invented by a writer.
Invented by
One thing
Stephen Fry.
I will say is that this is definitely a multi-part like intro thing. I bet you they probably packaged it as a movie because it's overall 5 parts. But
I think that's what I see. Yeah, part 3, part 4, part 5.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
we'll
to
just be say the first one of this.
But we get a
So
good
see how much
sense of it. You know, it starts in
established.
994 AD. That's when it starts, which is crazy.
Yeah.
As this plays, I'll talk
Dinosaurs.
about our sponsor, which is Sleep Juice. We'll get into Sleep Juice after we watch the episode, and we'll have our boys discuss. We'll have our boys just talk about Sleep Juice. Well, we made it through 2 episodes of Gargoyles, and I'm going to have you guys do a quick ad read for me. You guys can choose who you want to be for this.
All right.
Who wants to be customer? Who wants to be announcer?
Well, let me see it.
Okay. This is for Sleep Juice, or Sleepy Juice.
Sleep Juice.
I'll be announcer.
Cool. I'll be customer.
All right.
Just some more.
Go ahead whenever you guys are ready.
Are you tossing and turning like a rotisserie chicken of anxiety?
Yeah. My thoughts are louder than a marching band in a blender.
Then you need Sleepy Juice, the only beverage that guarantees unconsciousness. Or at least a very long blink.
What's in it?
Don't worry about it. It's blue, it glows, and the FDA hasn't explicitly said no yet.
Sounds sketchy. Will I wake up refreshed?
You'll wake up somewhere. Maybe in your bed, maybe in a canoe. That's part of the charm.
Does it work fast?
Let's just say, by the time you finish the sentence, is this working? You're already dreaming about arguing with a raccoon in a business suit.
He owes me money.
Sleepy Juice, because counting sheep is for quitters.
Thank you, Sleepy Juice, and thank you guys for reading that. Go check out Sleepy Juice. Yeah, it seems like a great way to nod off.
Yeah.
When you're awake, you're missing out. So take Sleepy Juice and participate in the asleep dimension, we'll say.
Yeah.
I think Eric can speak a little bit more about that.
Brother,
money. He probably said that at one point in his dream state, in his dream soul. Guys, we watched a really great 2-parter, or like it's a 5-parter. We watched 2 parts of the 5-part.
But two is a logical like stopping point. If we were to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good stopping point, I'd say.
I would actually continue this by myself and watch the rest of the 5-part and maybe a few others.
Yeah.
Not just I would, I am going to. Like, I genuinely want to watch the rest of the series because it was that good just from the start.
Yeah,
Dude, I just remember stuff getting crazy when Macbeth shows up too. So weird. John Rhys Davies. Yeah.
John Rhys Davies? What?
Yeah, John Rhys Davies is Macbeth, dude.
Oh boy, you just said
And
a sentence that I've like never known that I wanted to hear.
and not just in the past, dude. Not just in the present ass day. Macbeth. And Island is only a mid-90s adult man can.
So yeah, Gargoyles.
Macbeth.
I'll just say it was a great sequence of, getting to know these characters. The situation that led them to the modern day was interesting. It weaves in the mystical and historical, and I mean we didn't see a lot of magic, I'd say. We just saw like a spell being cast a few times.
Yeah.
And
the mage.
The mage turned them into stone.
Magus, there you go.
The Magus. Yeah, that whole sequence leading up to them being in the modern day was really cool. But it was really sad too because we lost a lot of homies, or Goliath lost a lot of homies.
You hardly knew the...
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot that I feel like we didn't even see in their like awakened form. They were just statues.
Yeah, and they talked about the hatchery, or one character talked about
rookery.
Well, we saw the rookery too with all the eggs at one point.
The eggs, yes.
Yeah, the three boys were down there.
This is playing
or Three Stooges.
A little bit like it could become another like Ninja Turtles. Instead of like the news reporter, we have like the girl detective that knows about these hidden creatures of the night that wander the city.
Far off.
Yeah, it's just magic based instead of science based. Well, there's
ninjutsu stuff, as well as like the weird like multi-dimensional sci-fi.
Yep.
This one's more fantasy.
Multi-dimensional fantasy instead of the science fiction chemical stuff. Yeah.
These first two episodes felt like we watched a full movie. And I mean, like, it felt like we watched 4 episodes rather than 2. It had such good pacing, and like, I don't know, like the acting, everything was just so good, and the animation especially, moment to moment to moment, I kept saying to myself, like, and to you guys, like, God, like, man, I'm just impressed by the fluidity, the line work, like legit, the design, like so many things, but the animation itself kept being superb throughout.
Yeah, and it holds up. Like, we can say some of these that we've watched might not hold up in today, but this one I would say holds up. The colors, the different the mood, the tone, all that playing through, like the color choices that they use, the kind of subtle, not too saturated, kind of gloomy, but when they need it, and we had a shot of it real quick, it was like the glowy eyes of Goliath, and when their eyes glow, it really emphasizes that they are like some kind of mystical creature.
Right.
It's really cool.
I like the motif of like the enemy combatants climbing up the walls of this castle, and like as they get to the top, these statues come alive and are like, like and they say too, like, hey, you're trespassing.
Get out. This is our castle.
It always kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Beauty and the Beast part of it, where it's like parts of the castle itself come to life to protect or do things to deter outsiders from coming in, and then there's also this like monstrosity, savage beast like, or
that's a
just
good point.
Like scary.
Goliath seems like a beast, like a beast from the Beauty and the Beast.
What a fucking head of hair. An iconic head of hair. Like a flat top mixed with a mullet? I don't know.
Mullets are strong in this fucking show.
Yeah.
The gargoyles have mullets.
Fucking Thanatos got his fucking rich guy mullet.
Rich guy mullet with like even a rat tail.
Yeah.
But
He's crazy.
this is one of the few things that we've watched that I feel like I've had the strongest reaction of like, okay, I'm like so fully in and want to watch this that I'm actually going to make a point to continue watching this. And
Dude, yeah,
there may be a point where like I fall off, but
right.
these 2 episodes that we watched out of 5, which is bonkers for a opening, like
yeah.
But that says a lot, I think, is that just these 2 episodes are so strong and they have such a pull to them. Look at this right here. This is like, God, get Frank Frazetta to do his interpretation of like a gargoyles.
Oh yeah,
that'd be tight. Oh my God,
something like that is just so good in my mind. I
love that shot. That's a cool shot.
Wilson, I threw Macbeth into Command Center there. I was going to talk a little bit about the show, some of the facts about the show.
Okay.
Since we've now expressed how much we love what we watched there. The show ran for 78 half-hour episodes. 13 episode first season, 52 episode second season, and a 13 episode third season. First 2 seasons aired on Disney Afternoon, while the third one went on to be on the Disney Saturday morning on ABC. It was so pretty much all of like there's no creator credit on the series. There were several people involved and responsible for it. Michael Reeves wrote the first 6 episodes and was primary writer, story editor for the first 2 seasons. He was one of the main kind of creators on it. Greg Weisman, who we've talked about on here, was described himself as one of the creators as well, having included much of the folklore, mythological, historical elements. But one crazy thing is that the first season was almost entirely written by a husband and wife team. Michael Reeves, who I was just talking about, and his wife Bryn Chandler Reeves. They wrote 12 of the 13 episodes. And then the last one was written by a guy named Steve Perry. But this goes to something we were talking about earlier with certain comparisons. All 3 writers were just coming off having written extensively for Batman the Animated Series.
Wow. Okay.
For which Reeves won an Emmy, and Chandler Reeves an Emmy nomination. Weisman officially joined the series as a co-producer with episode 6. Didn't have any main writing credits until the 3rd season, which he himself disavows.
Okay.
But he doesn't like that 3rd season. That's why he wrote what he wanted to in that one comic. It's continuing now, but
well, that's good that he got a chance to do that.
Right. So they didn't think that they were getting a 3rd season. They finished the 2nd season with a definitive wrap-up story, told over a series of final episodes. But then they unexpectedly ordered a 3rd season, back down to 13 episodes, as we were talking. But Chandler Reeves, Perry, and another guy all left the show at that time because they thought it was done, so they were moving on, and then it just got, picked up out of nowhere.
Oh my god.
And like Greg Weisman attributes a lot of what happened with it to some with changes within Disney itself, like the death of Disney president Frank Wells, which led to the divide between Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yeah.
And Katzenberg formed DreamWorks because Weisman's bosses, Gary Crisell and Bruce Cranston, who were supportive of Gargoyles, left with Katzenberg to DreamWorks. And also there's internal pressure on Eisner from Roy E. Disney that forced him to treat Gargoyles as part of the studio's older work, dropping a lot of universe plans. The second season aired during the O.J. Simpson trial.
Whoa.
Which drew audiences away from Gargoyles often due to preemption from the trial's coverage. Then by the time it was over, Power Rangers had become more powerful as a brand. And that was when the show staff didn't think they were likely to get a third season, which is why they moved on afterwards. Like, all this stuff just happens, and just, yeah, it's crazy. It's a very interesting thing. Like, unsure, like, unclear origins, because there's no solid creator or story about it getting created. Like,
yeah,
just
it's a wholly original kind of just a concept.
Yeah.
Maybe that you can see it probably was something that the creators maybe were floating around when they're working on Batman stuff.
right.
You could see some of that influence there. Like, hey, this could have been a cool, like, monster of the week kind of thing, where it's like Batman fights against a gargoyle that comes
Right.
alive.
And
at
I'm sure
night.
the animation department definitely, took notes from Batman the Animated Series, and incorporated a lot of that into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I mean, it's still around today.
Yeah, we were going to talk a little bit about possibly a movie happening.
Yeah, there's a few things. Over the last couple of years, I've seen some really, really cool action figures from the brand NECA that have come through of Gargoyles. Very cool toys. So they're still around in that, like, toy sense. They're, like I said, they'd have that kind of Gargoyles Season 4 comic that Greg Weisman is writing along with a couple other ones. So they're still around there. And then, yeah, there was a live action reboot that is been rumored for a while, but it is, I guess, happening. It was announced in October 2023. And it would be produced by James Wan through his Atomic Monster label, with Gary Dauberman acting as showrunner. So he writes a lot of Conjuring universe movies.
Oh, okay.
Did Annabelle Creation, The Nun, and Annabelle Comes Home. He also co-wrote the 2019 It movies as well.
Co-wrote it?
So,
or
yeah. Yep. Co-wrote It.
right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know his history there. You can do the creepy side of things, but also have a little bit of heart, because the first Conjuring, that's what I connected to, is like there were really scary moments, but there was that family side of things where it was the husband-wife duo that went and investigated, like
Yep.
their history with the darkness and their
a grounding element.
The love conquers all, like even those scary things, you know, like that seems to me like the Goliath and his lady of the night that he calls, you know.
Yep.
It could be some kind of that.
Some kind of that.
Some kind of that.
Was announced too from the games maker Ravensburger that cards featuring Gargoyles characters would be included in in the Disney Lorcana trading card game starting in the Whispers in the Well set.
I've never heard of these cards.
Card
things.
And also it's a card, like Disney's card game that they've had for a while, or for a couple years now. It's pretty fun. I've played it.
Okay.
But I also connected to this too. I got a text from my boss not too long ago, sending me a link, and he's like, "You should read into this. Something will make you really happy. They're going to start including Goofy movie cards in this as well."
You're constantly talking about Goofy movie at work, then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They know.
They know me. They know about my cheddar whizzy.
Y'all know me. You know, I earn a living.
They know I wish this was the day after today.
Yeah. We were talking about video games when we were watching it too.
Oh yeah.
And there was the handheld LCD game titled Gargoyles Night Flight, released by Tiger Electronics.
That's the one I had.
Yep. Sega Genesis game titled Gargoyles in 1995. Let's see. Oh, they did a remastered version in 2023.
I think I remember that. I do remember that. Yes.
Yep, and then they appear in a couple like mobile games and crap too. But so yeah, they're still very present.
That's because I was gonna say, like, why are they now wanting to produce like a live action thing? Like, that's really, do people remember this? Like, it must have some kind of following.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's one of those things where it is an instant nostalgia bait for people. Like, whenever, you know, just like when people see, like what I see when I'm at the comic shop, when they see the DuckTales, Darkwing Duck comics, they're like, oh, it's the same thing that happens when they see the Gargoyle ones. Like, oh, dude, check it out. I got this. It's a major nostalgia bait for people of our age, especially, obviously.
Yeah, I can see that.
People love it, and it was for good reason too. It's just like Batman the Animated Series, something you loved as a kid, and you knew it was kind of special, and then you go back as an adult and you realize it's an actual, really good, you know, work of animation. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no doubt.
I think
there's a lot to love.
When we were kids, there was a common like view of this intro to the show, this 5-part, and it was split almost down the middle of people being like, "Oh, I remember everything before, like everything medieval," and then or people being like, "I remember everything when they jump forward in time to being like present day."
Right.
There was very few of people being like, "Yeah, I remember both parts." They either had like maybe they watched it, but there were always just people who were like, "Yeah, I connect with one or the other," and I think that's an interesting split.
Yeah, man, it's a blast. I'm probably gonna do a rewatch now too. I started doing one a few years back, like maybe even when I first got Disney Plus, but I don't think I ever finished it.
Do you know what? That is actually the first thing. Now that you bring that up, like when Disney Plus first came out, I was like one of the first things I looked for was Gargoyles, and I put it on. I didn't like put on any movie or anything like that. I just like, oh, what TV shows did they have? And I'm like, oh, crap,
that was the
Gargoyles?
That was the whole like drawing point for me. It was like, dude, they're gonna have the '90s shows that I fucking loved. You know what I mean?
And I think they were kind of like slowly putting things out like on their like at first they were just like it seemed kind of like not as broad of a library, but I think Gargoyles was on the homepage. Like I didn't search it. It was just on there. I was like, oh, featured. Great, let's do it.
Because Gargoyles is that bitch, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's there for you.
People, they know.
Well, enough gushing and glazing.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 show. Go watch it.
10 out of 10.
They will have their revenge. Yeah, definitely go give it a shot. If you haven't seen it, we all recommend going just to go watch it.
Oh, the melodrama too. Oh.
And yeah, it's a good time. And there's a lot of things maybe now with a more mature set of eyes you can pick up on things maybe you missed.
Yeah, dude.
Because the Shakespeare stuff, maybe was a little over my head at a young age. I'd be like, all right, okay, what is this?
Your boy's a nerd, and somehow I kind of knew that stuff. I don't know if it was from watching things or if I read something or what. But I remember Macbeth.
Macbeth, okay.
That was like, oh yeah. Little kid me, just like, oh yeah, dude, I get this reference.
Maybe I was thinking of McBain from Simpsons at the time. I don't know. McBain.
Yeah, who knows if I actually... It might have even been a thing that I didn't understand it when I first watched it, when I was a little kid. And then it was something I learned about later in like middle school or something. And then when they start playing reruns of it on some channel and I'd catch it, then I'd remember. I don't know. It might be something like that.
Could be. That's happened a few times to me too.
Memories are silly.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching our video on Gargoyles and Goliath. I'm looking at him right now, and he's staring at me with that mean mug, and I'm getting freaked out with that head of hair.
You guys see that cool guy mid-90s Macbeth in there?
I did. Yes.
So
I'm cool, Macbeth.
Yeah, dude. He just looks like
weird priest,
but with a different head, essentially.
Yeah, the style of art and everything about
this
this is so good. Like,
it is very much like Batman the Animated Series style meets Disney style. Like, it's a weird conglomeration, amalgamation of the two.
Oh, you're so right, Eric.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that's the truth. I guess.
Oh no, guys! He's got the sleepy juice.
No, I'm just playing. I'm playing.
The sleepy juice is getting. He's rolling around like a rotisserie chicken.
We told you. He still owes me money, dude. He still owes me money.
Rotisserie man.
Just want to thanks Sleepy Juice for sponsoring this episode. We're not going to be sleeping as much as these gargoyles did in the show, but maybe we'll sleep for a little bit.
A couple centuries of Sleepy Juice. All right.
Dang, man. Got that weight. They took those weight mates. They took the whole bottle.
Well, they took Sleepy Juice in like the gel capsule pill form instead of the liquid form that you're supposed to take.
Yep.
Right.
They did. They for sure did. They cracked those
pills
right on
their
their jowls.
Like, do not take if you are blank. And these gargoyles clearly didn't read the label. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude, they really did take that Sleepy Juice. Was it did you look into who owned Sleepy Juice before we advertised? Is it the Magus?
It could have
It's
been
the Magus.
Shit.
Magus MD, yeah, or RX,
Does Jonathan
whatever they
Frakes own a majority share in Sleepy Juice?
Dude, Xanatos did. Yeah.
Freaking conspiracy uncovered? ? By Fargonauts? !
Sleepy Juice. Hey,
Rich
we will get our revenge
with arcane magician.
They may be the sponsor of this episode, But if they're guilty of this kind of stuff, that doesn't mean they're not going down.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We will see to the end of this.
We will. We will. We might need to put a call into some Stony boys to come.
Well, we may need to recruit Macbeth for the job.
They're going down one way or another. If it means us giving them a taste of their own medicine, and by that I mean just feeding them sleepy juice.
Yeah, make them sleep for give them the Johnny Appleseed treatment.
Knock, knock, knock. Hey,
Johnny
how
Ingleseed.
about some sleepy juice? I mean, how about some tainted water?
How about juice? Would you like some juice? There's no.
Would you like some juice?
There's no adjectives before this. It's just juice.
Would you like some capital letter normal juice?
Yeah. Non-adjective juice, please. Thank you.
Completely normal juice. Just does the thing that juice does to you. You know what juice does to you? You know what juice does to you? Regular ass juice? That's what this juice does.
A little bit of CNJ. Completely normal juice.
Go.
Thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back. Bradshaw, what is our next?
Oh shit!
It's a doozy because we're going from Pooh Bear.
It's gonna be Buzzer Beater too.
We went from Pooh Bear to Gargoyles back to what are we doing?
Pepper
I said Buzzer Beater because my phone's about to die.
It's not Pepperan. That's still upcoming, but
it's there. But
Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bears. I knew it was going to be something like that. The tonal shifts that we're going through here is kind of giving me whiplash.
This is one that I have the most faint of memories of. Like, this is one that I maybe saw a advertisement for on a pre-roll for something that I rented or that like I watched infrequently as a child, but I it will be interesting to revisit Gummy Bears as a candy and as a show.
Yeah, we should all just get some Haribos or some kind of gummy bear treats.
No, not Haribos.
What kind do you go for? Just gummy bears?
Well, there used to be like a specific brand that was like associated with the show, right?
Was there like Trolley brand or something like that?
We'll have to dig into it next time. I think that there was.
You might be right.
I think there was brand integration, my dude.
Just like Care Bears, the Care Bear stare.
Yeah, like the Disney fucking monolith sitting there, oppressive, doing its thing, telling us to eat tuna fish with peanut butter when you're saying, well, why would I put a fish with peanut butter? I mean, one's crunchy because I like crunchy peanut butter, but the other one's not crunchy. It's soft. It's fish-like. It's oily, and I don't want to spread one on one piece.